Making English easy for everyone.
Speak English with Jay and May.
Hey, English learners. Welcome back to Speak English with Jay and May, your cozy little place to build your English confidence. I'm May.
Hello, May, and hello, everyone. I'm Jay. May, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really well, Jay. Actually, I just realized something funny this morning. I was making coffee, and I thought, by the time this coffee is ready, I will have been standing here for 10 minutes. And then I thought, wait, that's actually a perfect example of today's topic.
Really? You can think about grammar while making coffee? That's impressive, May.
I can't help it. But honestly, Jay, today's topic is one of my favorites because once you understand it, you feel like a real English pro.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. So what are we talking about today?
Today, we're talking about the future perfect tense. And before you run away, I promise it's not scary at all. It's actually super useful in real life.
Okay, I'll stay. But May, before we go deeper, I think we should tell our listeners something important first.
Oh, absolutely. If this podcast is helping you build your English confidence, please subscribe to our channel, give us a like, share this episode with a friend who's learning English, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a daily episode from us.
Yes, we drop a new episode every single day, so make sure you don't miss any. Okay, May, now I'm ready. Let's talk future perfect.
Perfect. So, Jay, let me ask you something. Have you ever said something like, "Don't worry, I'll finish it before you arrive"?
Oh yeah, all the time. Like when my friend is coming over and the room is a mess?
Exactly. So that idea, finishing something before a specific time in the future, that is exactly what the future perfect tense is all about.
Oh, so it's about two things happening in the future, but one finishes before the other.
Yes, you got it already. The future perfect tells us that an action will be completed before a certain point in the future. It's like looking forward in time and saying, this will already be done.
Okay, that actually makes sense. But how do we build the sentence? Like, what's the formula?
Great question. The formula is simple. Subject plus will have plus the past participle of the verb. So for example, I will have finished my homework by 8 p.m.
So it's will have plus the past participle, like not the base form of the verb?
Exactly right, not the base form. We use the past participle. So finish becomes finished, eat becomes eaten, write becomes written.
Wait, so I will have 8 is wrong?
Yes, that's wrong. It should be I will have eaten. The past participle of eat is eaten, not ate.
Oh, okay. I almost fell into that trap.
Don't worry, it happens all the time. And here's a fun way to remember it. Think of the future perfect like making a promise about the future. You're saying, trust me, by that time it will already be done.
Oh, I love that. Like a confident promise. Trust me, it will be done.
Exactly. So imagine your boss asks, will you finish the report by Friday? And you say confidently, yes, by Friday I will have finished the report. You're not saying you'll finish it on Friday, you're saying it'll already be done by then.
Oh, wow, that's a small difference, but it changes the whole meaning, right?
It really does, and that small difference is what makes your English sound natural and precise, not just correct.
Okay, May, I want to hear some more examples. Can you give me everyday ones, like really normal life situations?
Of course. Okay, imagine you're traveling. Your flight is at 10 a.m. and your friend calls you at 9:55. What do you say?
I'm almost at the airport?
Well, yes, but in future perfect, you could say, by the time you call me back, I will have boarded the plane already.
Oh, that sounds so natural, like a text message you'd actually send.
Exactly. Or think about this. You're studying for an English exam. It's Monday and the test is Friday. You tell your study partner, by Thursday night, I will have reviewed all the chapters.
Oh, that's like planning ahead and sounding super confident about it.
Right, and that confidence, that's the energy of the future perfect. It says, I've got this. It'll be done. Count on it.
I want to use it now. Okay, wait, May, what are the key time expressions we use with this tense? Because I know tenses usually have special time words, right?
Yes, and this is where things get really interesting. The future perfect almost always comes with a time expression, something that tells us the deadline.
Like what?
The most common ones are by the time, before, and when. For example, by next year, I will have saved enough money. Before the movie ends, I will have eaten all the popcorn.
Oh, that second one is so real for me.
Same, honestly. Or you can say, by the time she arrives, we will have cleaned the whole house. That one's very useful for real life.
You mean like you're rushing to clean before your mom gets home?
Exactly that scenario. We've all been there. By the time mom gets home, I will have done the dishes, washed the floor, and pretended I was productive all day.
That is so accurate. Okay, so by, before, by the time, and when. Those are the key signal words.
Yes, and if you see or hear any of those words connected to a future time, there's a good chance the future perfect fits perfectly.
Okay, wait, here's something I'm wondering. What's the difference between future simple and future perfect? Because both talk about the future, right?
Oh, great question. This is where things change, and this is actually a really common point of confusion. Let me show you with two sentences. I will finish the book versus I will have finished the book by Sunday.
So the first one just says you'll finish it sometime, but the second one says you'll finish it before Sunday.
Perfect. The future simple just says something will happen, but the future perfect adds a deadline. It says the action will be completed before a specific point in time. It's more precise.
Oh, so future perfect is like future simple with a timer on it.
I love that. Yes, future simple with a timer. That's actually a great way to think about it.
Okay, May, what about the negative form? Because sometimes I need to say something won't be done in time, like when I haven't studied enough.
Honest and relatable. For the negative, we just add not, so it becomes will not have, or the short form, won't have. For example, by tomorrow, I won't have finished the project.
Oh, so just won't have plus the past participle.
Exactly. She won't have arrived by 6 p.m. They won't have heard the news yet. Simple swap.
That's easy, actually. And questions? How do we ask questions in this tense?
For questions, we flip it. Will comes first. So, will you have finished by then? Or will she have left by the time we arrive?
Oh, so the structure flips to will plus subject plus have plus past participle.
Yes, exactly right. And in conversation, you might hear short answers too. Will you have eaten? Yes, I will have. Or no, I won't have.
That sounds so smooth, like something a native speaker would actually say.
Because it is. And Jay, here's something really interesting. The future perfect isn't just for plans. You can also use it to make smart guesses about the future.
Wait, really? Like what?
So imagine you're talking about your grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary next year. You could say, by then, they will have been married for half a century. You're not just stating a plan, you're reflecting on time passing.
Oh, wow. That actually sounds beautiful, like a poetic way to talk about the future.
It really is. Or think about this. Someone asks, how long will you have worked at your company by December? And you answer, by December, I will have worked there for 3 years.
You mean like looking back from the future?
Exactly. You're standing in the future and looking back at how much time has passed. That's the deeper, more beautiful use of the future perfect.
Okay, that just made my brain do something. It's like time travel almost.
Yes, it is a little like time travel. You're jumping to a future moment and saying, from here, this is what will already have happened.
You know, I never thought about tenses like time travel before. May, you make grammar feel like an adventure.
That's the goal. Okay, let's do a quick practice together. I'll give you a situation and you tell me the sentence. Ready?
Oh, I'm nervous but ready. Let's go.
Okay, your English exam is next Monday. It's Saturday night. What do you say to your friend about your studying?
By Monday, I will have studied all the lessons.
Yes, that's perfect. By Monday, I will have studied all the lessons. Excellent, Jay.
Yes, I did it. Okay, wait, actually, can we also say, by Monday, I will have reviewed all the lessons? Is reviewed okay?
Absolutely. Reviewed is a great word here. It actually sounds a bit more natural in this context. You see, you're getting more precise already.
Okay, I feel like I'm leveling up right now.
You are. Okay, one more. Imagine you're talking to a friend. Their train arrives at 7 p.m. You're cooking dinner right now. What do you tell them?
By the time you arrive, I will have cooked dinner.
Beautiful. That is a perfect future perfect sentence. Natural, clear, and confident.
I can't believe how fast I picked that up. I think having a real conversation makes it click so much faster than just reading a textbook.
That's exactly why we do this every day, Jay. Grammar makes sense when you see it in real life, in real conversations.
Okay, May, one thing I want to clarify. Are there any common mistakes people make with this tense? Because I want to avoid them.
Oh, yes, there are a few. The biggest one is using will have with the base verb instead of the past participle. So saying, I will have finish instead of I will have finished. That's the most common error.
Right, because I almost said I will have ate earlier. That was almost me.
Exactly. Another mistake is forgetting the time expression. Technically, you can use future perfect without one, but it usually sounds much more natural with a deadline, by, before, or by the time.
So always try to add the time word to make it sound complete.
Yes. And the third mistake, mixing up future simple and future perfect. Remember, if there's a deadline involved, future perfect is usually the better choice.
Okay, so wrong past participle, missing time word, and using future simple when future perfect fits better. Got it.
You're summarizing like a pro.
May I have one last question? Can we use shall have instead of will have? I've seen that somewhere.
Oh, good catch. Yes, shall have exists, but honestly, in modern English, especially in conversation, we almost never use it. You'll mostly see it in very formal or legal writing. For everyday use, just stick with will have.
Whew. Okay, that's one less thing to worry about.
Exactly. Keep it simple. Will have is your best friend for future perfect.
Okay, so let me try to quickly wrap up what we covered today. We use the future perfect to talk about something that will be completed before a specific time in the future. The formula is will have plus past participle. We use signal words like by, before, and by the time. Negative is won't have, and questions start with will. And we can also use it for guessing or reflecting on time.
That is an amazing summary, Jay. Honestly, you just taught it back to me.
I think I'm ready to use this in real life now, for real.
And that's exactly what we want. We hope you enjoyed this session. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, leave a like, share this with a friend who wants to improve their English, and turn on notifications so you catch our new episode tomorrow.
Yes, and remember, we release a new episode every single day. So keep coming back, keep practicing, and keep growing your English one conversation at a time.
Now, before we go, we have a question for you, our amazing listeners. Try to use the future perfect tense and write your answer in the comments below. By this time next year, what will you have achieved? Tell us. We can't wait to read your answers.
Yes, share your goals with us. We'd love to cheer you on. Write it out, practice it, and own it.
You've got this, English learners. We'll see you in the next episode. Take care and keep speaking.
Bye, everyone. See you tomorrow.